Hello, this is Dom from Black Toe Studios for some Garden Hammer. We are playing 1500 points today, and this is my 1500 points of Necrons. We've got a Vanguard detachment here. So over here we've got 4 Wraiths, absolutely bog standard there. Behind here we have got the Nightbringer. He has got his 2 abilities. So one is the Antimatter Meteor and the other one's Gaze of Death. Down here we have the Technomancer. He has got the Veil of Darkness as a relic, and that is it with the cloak. We then have a big squad of 20 warriors with Gauze Reapers. We have got a flying transport here, so we've got Night Scythe. We have got the Warlord, so his Warlord trait is the Implacable Conqueror, which I believe is the reroll of the charge. He also has the upgraded Resurrection Orb and a Void Scythe. Moving over here, we have got 10 Lich Guard with swords and boards. And behind there we have got a Reanimator. So that is my 1500 points. We've also gone with Mefrit as our dynasty because you know, why change something that works well. This is my second game with Necrons in 9th edition, so wish me luck, and I apologise if I've made any mistakes. Now let's have a look at what Tom is bringing with his Deathguard.
Hello, this is Tom from Black Toe Studio, and here's my 1500 points of Deathguard. We are using the Ferryman Plague Chosen, well, not Plague Chosen, Plague Company I should say. So let's dive into the HQs over here. We have a Demon Prince of Nurgle. He is also my Warlord. He has the Droning Warlord trait, so that halves movement when anyone is within his contagion range, on top of the other contagion rules. We have a Lord of Contagion as well, with his standard loadout, no modifications on him. Also, sorry, the Warlord has also got Surapating Plate, I think that's, or Superating Plate, I think that's how you say it. Whoa, I don't know. Anyway, and then this is also a Vanguard attachment, so we have a lot of elites in this one. However, just before we go into the elites, we do have one troop choice of 7 Plague Marines here. We have an Icon of Despair, a Blight Launcher, and the rest is kind of bolters, and the champion does have a Power Fist and Plasma Pistol, because why not? And then into the elite slots, we have a 5-man squad of Deathguard Terminators here. We have a Reaper Autocannon, Flare of Corruption, and the champion has a Combi Plasma. We also have a little Plague Surgeon here, so hopefully he'll come in handy. We have 3 Death Shroud Terminators, all loaded standard because no real options you can put on them anyway. And then we have another 10-man Blight Lord Terminator squad over here with a Flare of Corruption, 2 Reaper Auto Cannons, a couple of Combi Plasmas, and yeah, pretty much all with axes in that one, because this one over here does have the Bale Swords. So that, oh sorry, one more thing, we also have a fetid Blight Drone here with a Fleshmer on it, nothing else additional. So that is it. Let's move on and see the army in deployment. Just before we go into the deployment mission, this is my reserve pile. So we have a 5-man Blight Lord squad, 3-man Death Shroud, and the Lord of Contagion.
Right, so here we are, both forces have been deployed. Today we are going to be playing the Passage of Dread from Beyond the Veil, the narrative book there. There we go, and that is our deployment. Thank you very much, Tom.
This way if you want.
Or that way,
yeah.
Makes even more sense. So, as you can see there are several objective markers scattered throughout the battlefield, and for the ease of the mission we're using 3 different types of objective markers. So on the board we've got Gamma, we've got Beta, and we've got Alpha. So back here we've got 1 Alpha objective here. We go across the battlefield and we've got the other one just down here. Now if you're controlling both of those you get 10 victory points, and then corresponding down here we have the Gamma one down there and another Gamma one down there, and then Beta we've got 1 down there and then 1 down there. And if you control both Gamma or both Beta you get 5 victory points. Also if you control at least 1 objective marker you get 5 victory points as well. It all kind of makes sense as we go on. Over here we've got the Necron force that's deployed first. We've got the warriors down there with the Cryptek. We've got the Reanimator here on this objective marker. Down on this flank we have got the Wraiths and the Satan. And we have got the Flyer back there. Moving over to the Deathguard deployment over here. Tom has placed his Demon Prince down here, lurking in the ruins. We then have Plague Marines down on this objective marker. A massive squad of Terminators in the centre. Oh, it's going to be hard work. We got this guy over here on the right flank. And yes, that is it. Everything else is in reserve at the moment. We've got to roll off to see who is going first. Hopefully the Necrons will be going first. All right, so Tom, roll a dice.
It's going to be a 6.
It's not going to be a 6.
First game playing back. Come on. Oh,
it's a 2. All right, it's good signs, good signs. A 3. Okay, it's going to be a long game. So on to turn 1 for the Necrons. Right, the end of turn 1 movement and the command phase as well. We've unleashed our first protocol, which is the protocol of the Eternal Guardian. So essentially these guys here, they didn't move, so they will benefit from light cover down there, which could come in handy. I don't know yet, as it was all pre-game planned. We'll see how it works out. Movement wise, Night Scythe here has got a bit of a flanking maneuver coming up this flank here. Got a couple of shots down the field here. Probably not going to target those Terminators because it feels like a waste. Coming over here, the Satan and the Wraiths are there, and over on this flank everything has remained stationary at the moment. So we're going to move straight into turn 1 shooting for the Necrons. Right, so the only shooting for the Necrons at this point, everything else is rather short range. There's a Night Scythe, just doing a bit of Tesla fire into the Demon Prince down here as he's away from his buddies. He couldn't benefit from Lookout Sir and suffered 1 wound, so that's a good sign, isn't it? Right, so that is it for Necrons, turn 1. We're going to move into Deathguard, turn 1.
Okay, so in the command phase, I put droning wings onto this Fetid Viron Surgeon, so he now has a 9-inch aura. And then we moved into the movement phase. As you can see, this squad of Blightlord Terminators has moved up the board. The Demon Prince has moved up around the corner here. He is also now, because of the aura increase, is now in range of my Surgeon for the Feel No Pain he offers, or the 6-up kind of shrug. The mower here has moved up around the right. He did an advance, got a 14-inch move, so he's moved right up to that corner there. And obviously the Plague Marines here are staying on their objective because they're going to protect it from the inevitable incoming from this, I assume, at some point. We'll see. And that is a nice bike in the background, if you can hear that. Perks of Garden Hammer, Dom. Anyway, that's my movement. We'll now move on into shooting. Okay, so the only bit of shooting I got was the squad of Blightlords here firing up into the Night Scythe. Yes. Is that correct? I've got it right. We did 1 wound. So he did a wound to my Demon Prince, and I did a wound to his Night Scythe. So I think that's quite fair. The only thing I tried to do was also put Putrescent Vitality onto the Blightlords. However, it failed. So that is that. We are end of turn 1 for Deathguard as well, because I have nothing else I can really do. So let's move on to turn 2 for the Necrons.
Right, turn 2 movement for the Necrons. These warriors here have moved up. They've also got an assault move, an advanced move there, and +1 of their movement because of the dynastic codes. Across here, we had the Night Scythe come around here, and the Lich Guard have now disembarked using Prismatic Dimensional Breach stratagem. Yes, I got it.
Necron Mumbo Jumbo.
There you go. There you go. Unbeliever. Down here, the Wraiths have moved up with the Satan here. He tried to use his ability on the Demon Prince as he's away from everyone else, and it didn't work. I even used a command roll, and it was like 2 double ones, so not good. But however, I'm optimistic about the Lich Guard here, and possibly some shooting going on down here against the Mower of Death. So let's move in to turn 2 shooting for the Necrons. End of turn 2 shooting, and the warriors down here fired in using Talent for Annihilation. So on rolls of 6s, they cause some mortal wounds as well, maxed out at 3. Luckily, I did cause 3 mortal wounds, and then 2 wounds got through as well. So I've done 5 wounds to this Mower of Death over here. On the backfield, the Night Scythe here fired its Tesla weapons in there, killing off 1 of the Plague Marines, getting ready for the 10 Lich Guard to jump in and potentially hack them up, although we'll see how my luck goes on that one. So we're going to move straight into turn 2 assault for the Necrons. Right, so end of turn 2 assault. Lich Guard charged in. Tom did not overwatch or use any particular stratagem on there, and yeah, the Lich Guard just tore through the remaining Plague Marines on the objective. So we're going to move into turn 3. Hopefully the rain does not start. It's getting a bit cloudy overhead. So let's see what Deathguard can do in their turn 2.
So Dom at the start of turn 2 for Necrons is currently on umbrella watch because there was some spitting. So we'll see how we go. This may be a very short video. Anyway, moving on to movement. So over here we had the Blight Lord Terminators shift on through this pass here towards this horrible concoction of nastiness. Demon Prince has stayed with them. The Surgeon has moved up, also putting back on the Droning Wings command asset. Over here I'm kind of relying on Death Shroud Terminators and the Lord of Contagion to hopefully do something to these guys. It's going to be pretty iffy, I think. Over to this side we had the Fleshmer move towards the squad there ready to sort of plough a field. I mean, yeah, plough a field. Anyway, and then at the very back over here, because I need to try and lock down one of these objectives here, I have moved this Blight Lord Terminator squad with a deep strike at the back here. Possibly going to try and engage this guy. We'll see. So that's movement. Let's head on to shooting. Okay, so turn 2 shooting for the Deathguard, and we'll start off over here. This Blight Lord Terminator squad here fired all their shots into the rays here. We managed to actually kill 2 off, and the reanimation did not work particularly well, if anything.
Badly.
And then the second part of shooting was all the way at the back over here with this Blight Lord Terminator squad, and we fired into the Reanimator, taking it down to 2 wounds. So not too bad a shooting for the Deathguard in my opinion. We're now going to head on to the meat and bones of the assault phase, and let's see if we can shift a few more of these nasty little Necrons off the board. Okay, so at the end of the assault phase over here, the Death Shroud and the Lord of Contagion were going to attempt to charge in here. I didn't charge Lord of Contagion until I was confirmed he would have some support. That support didn't happen. They failed miserably at getting in. Over here, you can see the Fleshmer is no longer here. I potentially could have probably worked around this, but I decided I needed some command points from other things, so I just elected to try and soak the Overwatch. However, Dom put Talent for Annihilation.
Yeah, Talent for Annihilation.
Yeah, and Overwatch, which unfortunately did the bare minimum exactly to the number pretty much, and I failed 2 saves, so not good. So Fleshmer is gone and he didn't blow up either. However, at the back here the flail came in flailing and took out the Reanimator fairly easily, so we have traded the rear points at the moment. I don't know how much it's going to go on for. We'll see. We'll see how many shots these guys can weather. Might not be as many as the Fleshmer, but anyway, let's move on into the Necrons in turn 3 and let's see how they get on.
Turn 3 movement for the Necrons. So over here, the Wraiths and the Satana have left cover. They're going to be brave. We can do this. Satana uses his ability, Gaze of Death, and caused a couple of wounds onto the Demon Prince. So he's gone down to 6. Over here, the Night Scythe has flown over. The Warlord has come out with the Transdimensional Breach. He's going up against these Terminators here. We're going to retake this objective, and the Warriors have just spun round there. Satan there, Technomancer is there, and he's just hanging on that objective. And the Lich Guard back here done the noble thing. They're stepping forward. We will see what happens in the shooting phase of those Terminators, but if we can get into assault and annihilate those Terminators, potentially we could get 10 points in the next turn. So let's move on to turn 3 shooting for the Necrons. Turn 3 shooting for the Necrons. So the Night Scythe here went in, took 1 wound off with its Tesla, and then these Reapers all fired with Talent for Annihilation, and of course being Mefrit as well, just shredded through most of these Terminators, although 1 is left, and naturally it's Captain Flail, so I'm going to have to try and cut through him with these guys. Luckily the Warlord is here, so I will get my rerolls of charge distance, which could potentially be very helpful. But let's now move into the assault phase, and hopefully it will be a game changer for the Necrons. End of turn 3 assault for the Necrons. So down here you see the Lich Guard charged into Death Shrouds, ripping them apart. This guy here though came round and killed 3 of the Lich Guard in revenge. Over here, Satan and the Wraiths charged in. Satan concentrated his attacks, although locking both up, concentrated his attacks on Terminators, killing 3 of those off. Wraiths have taken a bit of damage. 1 is dead, 1 has taken 1 wound. Obviously Satan has taken 3 wounds from the Demon Prince in return. Coming across here, however, the Warriors charged in and took 1 wound off the Terminator. The Terminator fought back, killing 3 of the warriors, 2 of which reanimated. So yeah, it's 1 for 1 at the moment on this side of the battlefield. So a pretty good turn for the Necrons. Quite a few Terminators have fallen, and Necrons are still in a relatively good place. So let's move in to turn 3 for the Deathguard.
Okay, so I haven't got any movement. However, in the command phase, I put on droning wings again, so we got the aura increase, and also I scored 5 points because I was already on the stretch and holding it with more units, or models, I should say. However, other than that, no movement, and we're going to be probably going straight into the combat phase actually. So it's going to be a very quick turn 3 because I have nothing to shoot. Because everything's in combat. So we'll be right back in a minute with Psychic and combat. Okay, so Psychic phase wise, nothing happened because I failed my Psychic tests. However, we're going to do the bit on camera here of the Catan fighting the Demon Prince.
Yep. So 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. All hit. Strength 14. Toughness 7.
Toughness 7, yes.
Toughness 7. So winning on 2s. Oh, Tom, this is not looking good.
Yes, it's not looking good.
It cannot take invulnerable saves. So it's D6 damage.
Okay.
-1 though because of your ability.
Indeed.
So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
yeah, so
17 wounds.
I'd say the Demon Prince is dead.
I would, yes, definitely.
Yeah,
say
so we'll be right back in a minute with the rest of the combat. Okay, so combat phases ended in Deathguard turn 3 down here. The Lord of Contagion managed to kill, I think it was 2 more off, wasn't it?
Yep.
2 more off, but he also took 4 wounds though, so he's starting to feel the pain a little bit. Over here, obviously we saw the Demon Prince go down earlier. We fought back against the Catan, taking down to, well, he's still down to 6 wounds at the moment. We killed off the Wraith though, which was fairly easy in the end. He did take an absolute pile of attacks to the face. And then over here, it still goes on. We killed another 2, I think, in the end. One got back up. However, they seem to be having trouble dealing with him.
Oh, not in the moment.
So I'm not quite sure what he's going to do.
Well, Tom.
Hopefully cry.
Protocol of the Hungry Void comes in,
which
increases the AP.
You're trying another one.
Attacks.
You're trying another stratagem.
It's a protocol.
Okay, another protocol. Anyway, we'll see what happens in a minute as we go into Necron's turn 4.
Right, turn 4 for the Necrons, and we now have some interesting stuff that's happening across the battlefield. Our protocols are the Hungry Void, which is on a 6 in combat. The AP improves by 1, which is quite nice. Hopefully those warriors will be able to finish off that Terminator. In the movement phase, however, Nightmare Shroud was activated on the Technomancer, putting him onto this objective here, which will hopefully be the game changer. Fingers crossed. I've said it before.
You had the game changer already.
The game changer almost happened, and these warriors are still in combat here, so potentially this could change things for the Necrons. The Lord has moved up there as well. The Overlord has moved up a bit closer. Satan has remained in combat, but of course with living metal he's increased to 7 wounds, and now he won't be able to get killed next turn. Well, hopefully I say that. I'm sure Tom will find a way. And that is it for movement. So we're going to move into shooting. No, we're not. We're going to move straight into assault because nothing can shoot.
Exactly, we're in that kind of phase.
Fun times. End of turn 4 assault for the Necrons. So over here, Satan took 2 wounds, which was quite surprising against so many Terminators. He then took out 3 Terminators with his scythe. Over here, the Nurgle character took out 2 or 3 more, I think 3 more Lich Guard there. The remaining Lich Guard took the last 2 wounds off of him. Finally, he did well for himself. He killed quite a few Lich Guards. He killed 7 Lich Guards. That's quite impressive. And over here, 1 wound was done to Terminator, and he killed another warrior off there. So he's doing very well for himself there. He's just slowly hacking them apart and just reassembling as he's just flailing around. So we're going to move in now to turn 4 for the Deathguard.
Okay, so turn 4 for the Deathguard. Not really much I can do at the moment. I'm locked in combat with Stannis, so I'm going to stay over there, see if we can gradually chip him down, maybe, you never know. The Plague Surgeon here has actually managed to put himself into a 12-inch charge with the Technomancer, Technomancer down here, who's going to hopefully do that with a double 6. I mean, you never know. What could go wrong? And obviously over here, the fight continues down here. It's not looking too hopeful for me. Essentially, if I don't knock Dom off one of either that one or this one, he'll score 10 points next round, and I'll only score 5. So let's move on to combat.
All right, so we're going into Tom's charging phase here. Now, we all know he needs a double 6. He's got 1 reroll in the bank. So, Tom, can you do it? Oh, no!
That was, you were so worried.
Here we go. No, he's not done it.
Okay.
No, it's a failed charge. So we're going to move on to the rest of his assault.
Okay, so at the end of the assault phase, down here, the Terminators fought the Catan, taking it down to 2 wounds. However, as you can see, they're not on the board anymore. Butchered would be the term. Over here, obviously, the Plague Surgeon did try to make a charge to Techman's but failed. We did that on camera. And over here, the eternal fight against the massive squad of warriors still goes on. However, he's getting the upper hand, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a matter of time.
I'll say you're running out of attacks.
Yeah, my Overlord's just waiting.
I mean, other than that, it's not going that well for the Deathguard. I think I should have played a little bit differently. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the final turns for Necrons.
Right, turn 5 movement for the Necrons. We now have, in effect, the protocol of the Conquering Tyrant, and we've gone with Directive 1, I think, so it increases the aura abilities of my characters. However, I don't think I'm going to need that, to be honest. We've pretty much got most of the battlefield under control. There's a few elements of the Deathguard that are still lurking about, which hopefully Necrons will be able to purge the filthy living from the battlefield. We have scored 15 points this turn, as we scored. We're holding both the end objectives, and we are holding this one here. So nothing really to declare for movement, although the Night Scythe has kind of zoomed around here, a bit of fire in, and a big gust of wind just comes in and knocks things over. Garden Hammer is definitely an interesting thing. So we're going to move in now to turn 5 shooting, and let's hope we can purge the living. Right, so end of shooting. The Night Scythe here unloaded a volley of Tesla file down here and reduced it down to 1 wound. And the Cryptek also fired as well, his Staff of Light. However, didn't do anything to this guy, so it's going to be down to the Lich Guard to finish him off. And that's about it for the shooting. Moving to assault, turn 5. Right, at the end of turn 5 assault for the Necrons. Yes, at long last the warriors have killed off the remaining Terminator, purging the ruins from the filthy Deathguard. And across the battlefield as well, the Lich Guard charged in to him and hacked him apart. So the Deathguard have been completely purged from the battlefield, and the score at the end of the game is 30 points for the Necrons and 15 for the Deathguard. That last turn definitely flipped it, swung it round, which has been a very interesting game. So first game with Necrons, and first game for a very long time, so it's been very enjoyable. My unit of the match will most probably be, I wouldn't normally say him, but it's going to be the Lich Guard, the 10 Lich Guard that charged in, killing off Plague Marines, Death Shrouds, Malefic Lords, and finish off that Surgeon. They've done well for themselves, so a lot of points, and they've served well. What about yourself, Tom?
I'll be a Lord of Contagion back there for whistling down your best unit, I think.
Yeah, killing 7 of the Lich Guard is quite an impressive feat, to be honest. It's been a very fun narrative game, and yeah, it's been good times. So this is Dom and... Hello, from Black Toe Studios, and see you next time. Take care.